Chapter 10, No Dessert. No dessert, said Bean. No videos for a week, but at least they didn't make me stay in my room. Ivy was sitting next to Bean on her front porch. It was almost dark. They watched the bugs flying around the streetlight. I don't think they're really mad, said Ivy. You don't? They seemed pretty mad to Bean. They have to act mad so that they'll seem fair to your sister, Ivy said. But your mom had this little teeny smile on her face when she pulled Nancy out of the pit. She thought it was funny. Bean smiled too, remembering it was funny. It was great. Nancy says she's never going to speak to either us ever again, and she took back the coloring book she gave me. Well, she never spoke to me before today, so that won't be any different for me. It'll be better for me, but I bet she doesn't stick to it, Bean yawned. It had been a big day. She turned to Ivy. Do you think the spell is what made her dance? Of course, Ivy sounded very sure. But after a minute, she said, I didn't have time to say the spell, really. I just sort of thought it, and at the last second. Bean stared into the shadowy yard. Maybe that's why she didn't dance for very long, because you only thought the spell instead of saying it. Next time I'll say it. You're going to do it again? On who? Bean asked. I was thinking about that Mrs. Trans, says Ivy. Bean pictured Mrs. Trans kicking up her feet at the edge of a muddy pit. It would be a beautiful sight. Can you teach me to burp like that? Asked Bean. Sure, Ivy said. Maybe I'll try something new on Mrs. Trans, like a storm of grasshoppers. Is that one hard? No, but we have to start with a lot of grasshoppers, said Ivy. It seems like all the spells have bugs in them, said Bean. Not all of them, said Ivy. Poor potions don't. Potions that sounded funny, like more a potion, Bean said. Let's make a potion, Bean said. Okay, Ivy said. Tomorrow we'll make potions. I know that, said Bean. Tomorrow, let's fix up a lab in your room. Then we can make potions. She pictured a lab with shelves full of bottles. She and Ivy could wear goggles. Ivy sat up straighter. Yeah, that'll be good. We'll dump that dressing room, get some shelves with little bottles, and maybe a counter. Bean's mother came out onto the front porch. There you are. It's almost bath time, Ivy. Do you want me to walk you home? Okay, said Ivy. But Bean's mom sat down beside Bean and looked at the nighttime sky. You girls have certainly had a big day, haven't you? Bean leaned against her mother's arm. Tomorrow, we're going to make a lab in Ivy's room. You are you? Said Bean's mom. What for? Potions, said Ivy. What kind of potions? Asked Bean's mom. Secret potions, said Ivy. There was silence. Then Bean's mom said, no matches, no poison, no explosions, no deadly fumes, no bugging Nancy. Is that clear? Ivy and Bean looked at each other and rolled their eyes. Weren't you the one who was always telling me to play with her, said Bean. Wasn't this all your idea in the first place? Bean's mom smiled at them in the dark. The light on Ivy's porch came on, and Ivy's mom stepped out the door. She waved across the street. Time to come in, honey. Down the stairs and across the circles she came in the moonlight. Ivy stood up. So did Bean. See you tomorrow. See you tomorrow. And the day after, Bean added in her mind, Ivy, holding her mother's hand in the middle of the street, turned around to look at Bean. And the day after that, she said,